Hello, hello, beloveds. We are opening and expanding new pathways to joy, new pathways to love, remembering more deeply than we ever have before the experience of joy, the experience of love. And we are doing this in this wild, wild energy time. This time in the new spiral, in the new game. We have been in a massive deconstructing phase, deconstructing everything within. If you were a giant skyscraper, you have been experiencing a massive demolition project. It's been going on since, really probably since December 2nd in some way, shape, or form. And in particular and with growing intensity since December 21st. And during that time, you have perhaps experienced significant inner upheavals and perhaps outer massive shifts as well. And hopefully it hasn't been too rough on you, but if it has, don't worry. It doesn't signify anything. There's no kind of judgment around how radical the deconstruction period has been affecting you. But it is important that this full kind of building be completely demolished all the way down to the foundations. We're returning the site of ourselves down to bare, raw earth. And so if you know anything about building construction, you know this is a significant task. This is significant work that we are doing right now. And we have been in it in various ways. And so it's actually, Kali is here bringing in extra fun to remind us about play and fun. Kali the cat, not Kali the goddess. Although Kali the cat reminds me that she is related to Kali the goddess, and I say yes, okay. She's amazing. She's feeling these incredible energies. We have been experiencing here huge expansions today in the whole energy centers related to like the solar plexus, the chest, the kind of heart and high heart space, and the throat. These energy spaces in particular, in the last hour or so, I'm recording this around noon on Sunday, February 5th, 2023. But particularly these spaces have been just like hugely expanded and opened, and this sort of rushing in of all of these new kind of codes and energetics have been significant. And some of this is coming from that gorgeous comet, the green comet. I forget its little scientific tag name, but this comet has been coming in, and I've written about this in some of my social media posts, but it's been bringing in these incredible divine source codes for us, and it's been kind of dispersing those here as it's come in close. And so that has been part of this as well. And it's just incredibly beautiful, incredibly beautiful. I will say that this deconstructing process may have been creating like a lot of fatigue or just a sense of I just need to sleep a lot more. But it may also have been creating periods of feeling like suddenly you have lost direction or purpose. And that may have created some inner fear and kind of contracting within around, oh no, I'm supposed to be in the new game and I wanted to do the bonus round, but I'm not really like feeling things the way I used to or the way I want to. And what does that mean? And what's going on? And what I want you to know is it's just this deconstructing. It's just this deconstructing. And it'll be very intense for us in this through the spring equinox. March 21st, I believe, this year is the spring equinox. But for some of us, today may be a huge turning point where things really begin to open up again. This is very individual, what's going on for people and where they're at. But I know a lot of people are clearing things out in a lot of different ways. And so it could look like you've been really sick, or you've been having lots of annoying little body ailments, or, things just haven't been kind of flowing in the way that you're used to or that you like, even while other things are going well. If you kind of step back and you look at kind of objectively, things are fine. Things are good. I have so much to be grateful for. I have so many wonderful things that are going on in my life. And yet, these other sort of oddities, right? Don't give them any mind. Bless them, thank them, encourage the continued deconstruction, the continued clearing out. We've got to bring it all down. And as your brain in your human form seeks to resolve ambiguity, which it always is doing, like ambiguity is just completely not desirable from the perspective of the human neurobiology, both the nervous system and the brain, they don't like it. So they will try to resolve ambiguity with any means necessary, even if the story that resolves that ambiguity is a negative one. So here is where your work with your neurobiology and getting more and more skillful and building more and more capacity and nuance around this is going to be so important, because this is how you will continue when there are big shifts occurring, and there are going to continue to be ever kind of speeding up, if you will, energies coming into Earth. What's the story? How will you organize that energetic information coming into your human body and your human energy field so that you continue to expand and open and have even greater access to love and to joy and to source energy within yourself, and therefore be able to increasingly easily recognize it all around you and all of the beings all around you, and experience greater and greater opportunities for communion with others who are also having that same experience. And I know that many are very longing and sort of homesick within themselves for soul family to come together here now in their human self. And this is how this will just start to open for you, and that you'll just start finding them and they'll just start randomly coming in. Just keep on keeping on, and understand as you work with this new energetics in this new game, in this new spiral, that there's no new normal, at least not yet. And you're looking for a new normal. Again, see earlier comments on ambiguity, but there isn't. And so if it feels like the ground is shifting beneath your feet, it is. And our work is not to create a mechanism that solidifies the ground. Our work is to learn how to surf the liquid moving ground that we are now on. And it's the Silver Surfer. Back to that earlier piece. But that's really where we're at. We're not really ready to start building the new foundation underneath us. We are still deconstructing. And remember, we have this whole year as a foundation year as we deepen our access to that inner homecoming, Remember, the planetary energy theme for the year is homecoming. It is this coming into home of ourselves, our cosmic self and our original self here in this human body, here on this earth. Earth is coming into her homecoming experience as she is integrating more and more of the highest dimensional energies that she has ever accessed in any of her experiences. So, of course, that's creating all sorts of interesting things that are going on for all of us. So I want you to just keep on keeping on with things. Understand that, let's see, I know people like kind of more tactical intel. So yesterday I recorded and shared a guided activation using this imagery that was given to me of a spinning top, the little toys, with little spinning top. And I think you might find this to be very useful, as you are going through this process. So I want to refer you to that. And it is both a guided activation in the sense that it activates energetics within you, but it gives you tactical visuals and experiences to keep working with as you move forward. And so in terms of kind of phases and dates and what's going on for this year, I feel like this year breaks up in a very interesting way that I haven't experienced in a while, that very much relates to the natural, quote unquote, holidays or days. And so we have spring equinox and summer, or I should say June solstice, because I know that's winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. But so March equinox and June solstice are both extraordinary inflection points in their own ways. And again, the December solstice will be as well, as it has been since 2020, particularly. And so, or really, I guess even 2019, but anyway, in any event, because really things just really took off January of 2020, energetically. So, in this, whole new iteration, the conclusion, if you will, the sort of closing chapter of the old spiral, I feel began on January of 2020. So, and closed out, as you recall from earlier shares, December 2nd of 2022. So here we are. And I keep forgetting that it's already February. I don't know if earlier I said February 5th or January 5th about my recording. I actually am wondering if I maybe said January 5th, but it is February 5th. Oh, time has been extra wacky for sure. And then let's see. We're in this, okay, yeah. So going forward from today, between now and spring equinox, where our attention, we want to really think about where's our attention going, and our attention serves to illuminate. It's like a spotlight, right? To illuminate things. And so put your attention on your connection channel conduit access experience of love and joy. Joy in particular, love is of course like either the pathway to joy or vice versa, but love is kind of bigger in some ways and joy is specific as a frequency. So joy, as much as you can, tend to your radiance. What brings joy? How do you access joy? You have memories of joy. You may not have been feeling joy, that incredibly high, pure frequency of joy during this deconstruction period, and you may have thought, oh, maybe I've just lost it. Remember your pathways to joy. You can access these. You can get it back, and actually times a lot from these big expansions of energies that have just occurred, particularly for today, in my awareness at least. And so, yes. And then also kind of on a tactical level, allow your attention to illuminate the plans that you thought that you had in place that have been kind of halted through this process or incredibly slowed down, right? And, from an astrological perspective, we've had this, we're coming out of this phase of lots of kind of retrograde energy, and that tends to slow things down. And that slowdown is always in service to your highest good, whether you're able to perceive that or believe that or not. And so now, as things are opening up again, okay, let me revisit those, and what in them needs to be deconstructed itself or just left behind. And be spacious in your sense of how much time is available to you. Because you may very much, with these deconstruction energies, be feeling a little rushed, a little hurried, a little pressured, a little like you may be having phases. Maybe it's not all the time. Maybe it's just here and there throughout the day. Or maybe it is all the time, where this little bit of creeping sense of, oh, I gotta go. I gotta get off the dime. I gotta do the things. I gotta, make the things happen. No. And you may have known and understood and had the mental model that that's a no, but you may have not been aware of how to actually deal with that. Like, what do I then do with it, right? And that may have caused different kinds of sort of soft collapse experience, right? So a big collapse is like a crash, and maybe you've had those too, that's fine. But these sort of soft collapses that can happen throughout the day, or for several days in a row, where we sort of essentially just kind of shrink or collapse in away from our life, from living, from being our full selves, when we have this sense of, right? And so what is that related to, if that's been happening? Is it related to plans that you have for big projects? Is it related to desires and hopes that you have related to how you are relating with and caring for your body? Because that's a huge energy theme right now. We are being absolutely directed. The message has been going on for a while to get more connected to your body, get more in your body, take care of your body, strengthen your body. But there is an urgency coming in on the messaging around it is time to really strengthen your body, and whatever that looks like for you. But it is really time to strengthen your body. And I'm going to give you specifically, this is because physically, the increasingly higher energies coming in kind of galactically, if you will, are intense. They have intense impact on the physical biology of the human, of everything. And that is desirable from an evolutionary perspective of our species evolution into Homo lumens, but it can create a lot of problems. And I do sense that we're going to see increasing higher rates of death in these next couple of years, in particular, maybe let's say next 5 years. And some of that will, what are the stories around that? And there will be lots of stories around that, and some of them will have some accuracy and some of them will have no accuracy. Try to not freak out as you become aware of that more and more. There's already some awareness occurring that there are what's called sort of excess death rates, meaning that, statistical projections of what the levels of kind of death rates should be, in terms of, countries keep demographics of these kinds of things. It's higher, and it's been higher. And this is not attributable to that, everybody's favorite pandemic item. And so what is it attributable to? Is it attributable to, the jab related to that? Well, I don't know. Could be. That's one version of a story. Is it related to the ways in which these higher energetics are stimulating different biological systems in the body. And yeah, that ultimately I feel is underneath all of it, whether there are substrands of story that are related to the pandemic and the various different components of that, or blah, blah, blah. I don't personally really care about any of that. I find that to be, it's a very relevant storyline from certain dimensional perspectives. It's just not relevant for me. And where I'm interested in is like, what's the origin of that? And the origin of that is these forcing function, higher level cosmic galactic energies coming in as Earth's position in relation to, the galaxy shifts. And we move more and more into these sort of deeper space energetics coming onto the planet. And more, and they're coming through Earth, through the sun as well. And so people get very focused on kind of sun activity, and that can be a variable, but the sun is sort of essentially kind of transmuting and bringing in these activating codes, as well as they're just coming in directly all around all the time. And we're going to see that increase. And that's why this foundation year is so important. And so what's shaky in your own foundation? But don't build on the old stuff if it's shaky and if it hasn't been deconstructed, right? Like, let things be deconstructed. It doesn't mean that you're starting from scratch. It's more like, okay, we are taking down this building, all of it, and then there are parts of it as we take down that we're going to put to the side because we're going to rework with these materials, right? Like, oh, we love this, like these beautiful old timbers in this building. We definitely want to keep those. These beautiful shingles, we want to keep those. Some of this, kind of the stuff that was used for the wood flooring, we're going to keep that. This beautiful, antique window casing, whatever, moldings, right? Like, there's all these aspects of ourself that, of course, we're keeping going ahead, but we have to deconstruct the entire building site of ourselves. So it's all going out of the site. It's all coming out, and then we're taking out the foundation, all of it, down to bare earth. And then we can start to look at, oh, how am I going to repurpose this amazing stuff? Like, I love this thing here. I think I'm going to use it over here in this new way, in this new setup. And, so just keep on, like, as you're looking at projects, as you're looking at these inner things, what is going to create the foundation for you and look at those projects, whether those are inner projects or external projects, it doesn't matter. That's where you want to allow your attention to illuminate and be your devotion. Remembering that your devotion is simply where your attention is going. All right. So more remembrance of joy, new joy codes for sure are coming in, are expanding your energetic space. Let it in, let it happen. Dance and sing all the time. Tend to your nervous system. Dance and sing even when you're not quite feeling it, because sometimes that's the shift that you need. You just need to kind of move the energy around in your body. All right. Beloved, I love you. Thank you so much for your light in the world, and I will talk to you again soon. Mwah.